Welcome to Divorced Dads of America, the Rebuild. I'm your host, Anthony Thompson. I'm going to share some things today that you're not going to like. Sometimes I feel like I get on this podcast and yeah, that's exactly what I do because those are the things that I needed to hear. So I want to ask you something. I need you to sit with it before you answer. I ask this question to dads. It's a great question. How much do you love your kids, right? Every dad, everything. They're my whole world, they'd say. I do anything for them. I hear that, man, every single week. And then I ask the next question, and this is the one that changes everything. So why won't you do everything to become the man they need you to be? And the silence after that question, dude, that silence is where the real work lives. Because here's what I know after coaching thousands of dads. It's not information you're missing. It's not time. It's not money. It's not your ex. It's not the circumstances. It is not how hard life is right now. You are avoiding the one thing you already know you need to do. Today, we're going to name it because you cannot fix what you will not face. So let's dig into it. Those of you that have had this punch in the face, welcome to the podcast. Welcome, boys. This is where we do things. This is where we get accountable. This is where we move forward. So those of you that haven't subscribed yet, subscribe on Apple or Spotify. Thank you. Send it to somebody. Share this with somebody. This is your moment. If this was a punch and you needed it, subscribe, share it. It will send it to another dad that's in worse shape than you. And trust me, the stories that I hear, there are dads that are in an unbelievable circumstance and they need help just as I needed help as I was going through this journey, as I was crossing this river. That's what we're going to do with you today. There's some great stuff that have helped me, that will help you, have helped thousands of dads. We're going to dig into it. What avoidance actually looks like in a divorced dad. Let's just call a spade a spade. Let's throw down what's really happening. That's the reality. We got to throw down what the reality, the real crap, the real stuff. Here's what it looks like. Here's what I see it in dads. It's what I hear. So I want to, maybe for you, maybe it's something you've said, or maybe it's something you've heard. Maybe it's something in your mind. Here's what it looked like. And some of it was what was happening for me. It looked like being busy, always busy, so busy that the important things never get done because the urgent things always take over. Looks like saying I'm trying. I'm doing my best, as if trying is the same as doing, as if effort without result is the same as progress. There was a great video I watched the other day about trying, and a guy asked another guy, he said, hey, try to pick up that weight. And it was a little dumbbell on the floor, 5-pound dumbbell. So the other guy went over, he went to pick it up, and he grabbed it, and he goes, no, don't pick it up. I didn't say pick it up. I said, try to pick it up. And so he went over again, and he looked at it, he put his hand on it. He said, nope, don't touch it. I said, try to pick it up. And there's just a difference. There's no, just as Yoda said, there's no trying. There's just doing. That word trying is a very misinterpreted word, and it will misguide your brain. I want you to think today of being doers. What do I need? What am I doing? Not trying. What am I doing? So that's what I hear. One of the big ones. I'm doing my best. I'm trying. I want you to do. I want you to actually do. Another thing that I hear, it looks like not building a daily plan. No structure for your mind, your spirit, your finances, your body. Just waking up and reacting to whatever the day throws at you and calling that a living. There's guys that are listening. They don't even know their cash flow of their life. They don't know what money comes in, what money comes out. They get stressed about money, but they don't fix and put a system together for their money. The same thing for your brain. You don't know what's coming in. You don't know what's going out. So you're stressed all day. So you don't have the discipline and the structure in your mind. Many of you need to lose weight. You don't know what you eat. You don't know what you burn. And so you're adding weight. You don't have the discipline, the structure for that. It works in every area, spiritually, relationally, mentally, all of those things. So I'm going to press into these and dial in a little bit more, but I want you to just see how it applies practically to what I'm talking about. It looks like not having non-negotiables, which I talk about in our school community. And my clients know about non-negotiables. That's what we do. There's no anchors, no commitments to yourself that hold regardless of how you feel that morning. So let me give you some data on this about procrastination because everybody procrastinates. All right. The Psychological Bulletin in Calgary, Dr. Pierce Steele, did a published finding. He said 95% of people admit to procrastinating. And the primary driver, listen to this closely, it's not laziness. The primary driver for procrastination was not laziness, but emotional avoidance. People don't avoid tasks because they're hard. They avoid tasks because the tasks are connected to emotions they don't want to feel. Fear, shame, failure, maybe the possibility of success and what that would mean. So when a divorced dad tells me he doesn't have time to build his non-negotiables, he's not telling me about his schedule. He's really telling me about his fear. And so I want to pause a second there. Wherever you're at, I want you to actually think, what are you avoiding right now, today? Maybe in this hour, maybe in this moment. And hold that thought. Hold that item for a second as we dig into this a little bit further. Here's what I call the excuse architecture. It's the three things dads say that are keeping them stuck. So I'm going to give this to you like I would give it to anybody. And like I said it to myself, man, like I've been in those conversations. I am saying this with empathy for you guys, man. I know it's hard to answer this. The first excuse that I hear the most is I'm trying my best. This one is the most dangerous because it sounds noble. It sounds like effort. But here's what I tell dads who say this to me. Trying is not a result. Trying is what you do before you commit. Builders don't try. They decide and then they execute. They make a decision. They commit. And so here's the question I ask back every time. If your kids were drowning, would you try to save them or would you save them? Because the man they need right now is drowning too. And he needs a dad who saves not one, who tries. He needs a dad who's going to save him, not try. I'm trying my best. I want you to shift that. We're going to go through some other thoughts on that about what do you move that thought into? How do you disrupt it? And what do you do next? Excuse 2, I don't have enough time. Guys, every man has 24 hours. Every man has 24 hours. And you get to decide what's in that. Stephen Bartlett says it like this with his hours. He looks at it like a roulette table. You have 24. On that roulette table, there is something in there that's going and it's circulating around and around. What are you putting in is what you're going to get out of that roulette wheel on that hour. You got an hour. You have time. Time is not your problem. Priority is. In 2021, there's a study of at Wharton in University of Pennsylvania where I took some classes there, which is really cool. And this was a phrase that comes out and then a shift. So this could be helpful. They found that people who reframe, I don't have time, to it's not a priority, report immediate clarity on what they are actually choosing. Very interesting. People who reframe, I don't have time, to it's not a priority, report immediate clarity to what they're actually choosing. So you don't have time to build your daily plan. You're choosing not to. Those are different things. And one of them you can actually change. So what would happen if you treated your rebuild with the same urgency you treat a work deadline? Right? It's interesting that we go to work and we have deadlines and we have KPIs, we have those things, we hit those, we do those. We have to. Why? Money's on the line. Well, what about your life? What about the rest of your time? Why isn't that part organized, structured, and aligned to where you want to go? Dad life and all those things. Number 3, another excuse. Life is just really hard right now. It's really hard. It's so hard. Hard. That's all I hear. Oh, it's hard. It's hard. It is, man. Nobody is arguing that. There's nobody that's saying that life is easy. And if they are, then good Lord, what are they doing? Life is hard. It's only going to get harder. It's only going to get harder. So I needed to stop drinking. I needed to stop gummies. I needed to stop numbing. I needed to get accountable with someone who would call me out, not cheer me on, not, oh, good job, man. You're trying. Oh, you're doing your best. No, 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 no. I needed someone to slow me down instead of helping me try and rush through, speed through the process, because the process was the win. The process was the obsession, not the destination. It was the process. So I want to ask you with when it's hard and all these kinds of things, and these are things that I said, again, guys, I'm throwing myself on the bus. I'd say all of these things. Oh, foolish man that I am. And then I would numb like a fool. But I ask you, what are you numbing with right now that you haven't told anyone about? What do you need to put on the table? A guy came in our school community just the other night, and it was like such an awakening for him to share something personal that nobody else knew about. I mean, I could see like, he's like, well, I guess I got to share what's really going on. I was like, that's it, brother. That is the way to freedom, is get this stuff out into the light, expose it so that you can grow from it. That's the challenge I have for you about life is really hard right now. Hey, you're going to get through this, man. And I believe if you want a band of brothers to jump in our school community and start doing it, not by yourself. I wish I had that. I'm going to give you this next area here, this framework, because stress is another thing I hear. Oh, I'm so stressed. Oh, it's so stressful. I'm so triggered. I'm so all fill in the blank. I get it, man. But here's the thing. I want you to use stress instead of letting stress use you. I need you to do that. I want to bring you through this accountability architecture for stress, right? And I want you to write this down. Stop using stress as an excuse and start using stress as fuel. Every divorced dad that I've ever coached who actually rebuilt his life made this shift at some point. He stopped letting the pressure of his circumstances drain him and started letting it drive him. And it's remarkable. There was a TED Talk that I watched, Kelly McGonigal's research. She did this TED Talk, and it confirmed a study tracking 30,000 adults over 8 years found that stress only becomes harmful when you believe it is harmful. Did you catch that? What you believe is certainly what you become. This stress is draining me. This stress is hard for me. This stress is, wait, what about the other side? What about this stress is building me? This stress is growing me. This stress is making me, this tension, this pressure. I need this stress to become the man that I've always been called to be. What if you did that? What if you did that? What if you became the hero that you know you need to? Oh, Anthony, that's crazy. Who would say that? Okay. Not only am I going to give you the data for it, and you know it's there, and maybe it's hard for you to believe that right now, but I'm telling you, you don't have to see it to believe it. You got to just do it. You got to take that leap of faith. You got to take that step. It reminds me of Indiana Jones' Last Crusade, and he's going to find the Grail and the cup, and there's this huge canyon that he's got to cross, and he can't jump it. It's too far. It's too far. And he's looking at it, and he's thinking, how am I going to do this? And he remembers this line about faith, and he puts his leg out, and there was actually stone there that was invisible, right, in the movie, and he walks across. That's what it feels like. It feels like you're going to die. It feels impossible. That is the step, my friends. That is how we transform stress, and we use it for you. The stress of divorce is telling you something important is at stake. Your kids, your identity, your future. Use it. Here's what the accountability architecture looks like in practice. Okay, I'm going to give you a couple pillars, and then we're going to close this thing out. Number one is build your daily plan the night before. Not a to-do list, structured plan for your mind, spirit, body, finances every day. Guys in our school group know that we go through this every single week. What are you accountable to? What are you building? What are you missing? What are you doing? Now, look, there are times when you're not going to hit them all. However, we make inside of that build the daily plan things about non-negotiables. What are they? What are the 5 for your day that's going to drive and run your life? For me, it's Jesus. It's move. It's publish. It's connect. It's wins. I've talked about those on other podcasts. Whatever yours are, they go first, not after. Everything else, you get that list down, then you move on to what's next. Build your plan the night before. Get someone who will call you out. That was such a big thing for me because I was such a lone wolf. I was a Rambo, right? One man show. Tony Stark could do it all. And I hit my ceiling. I couldn't do it all. I eventually found a couple mentors and coaches that I invested in. Also, some other brothers showed up that I could share my pain and share my flaws. And the friends were good, but guys that have been a little bit further along than me, they're not just looking to connect with me, they're looking to grow me. And you need someone that's going to grow you. They don't need to just call you out. You don't need just people that just call you out. You need someone that's doing it in a way that's going to elevate you. You don't just need complainers and how you suck at stuff. Most of us know that we suck at stuff. We need people that are going to be able to use that information to help us transform it. So I encourage you, get in our school group, get with guys that do that. I love in our group when guys are also doing that with each other. They will say something, another guy will jump in and be like, hey, it sounds like you're saying this, and I think there might be a gap there. It is one of the most powerful and beautiful things at the same time. And I'm so proud of the guys that are working through that in our community and doing it in real time. There's a study about training and development from the American Society. Is that the people who commit to a specific accountability partner increase their probability of achieving a goal from 65 to 95%. I love that stat because I talk about the gates of change and I talk about what those numbers do when you get accountable. And if you want to change, you got to get accountable. And it literally ups the probability of achieving the goal from 65 to 95%. That's pretty big. So if you're wondering why you're not hitting stuff, I'm asking you, who are you accountable to the process of what you're doing? Number 3 pillar, obsess over the process and not the outcome. Drifters are outcome obsessed. They want the result without the reps. They want the relationship without the work. They want a healed life without going through the healing. They want to just speedboat through this thing and get to the other side. I hear it so many times. Man, I just want this to be over. I just want this to be over. Okay. Guess what? You can't control when it's over. What you can control is what you build in the moment, what you build through it, how you grow through it, how you become in it. Builders obsess over the process. They fall in love with the daily non-negotiables. They track the small wins. They understand that the man they're becoming is being built one decision at a time, not in a dramatic moment. I love watching Kobe about the process. I love watching him obsess about the process because that's what this is. Your process is, you got the hours in the day. What are you doing with those hours? How are you accountable to those hours? What will those hours do for you? How are you 1% better from yesterday, the Kaizen effect? How are you taking ownership of the things that you don't think you should take ownership of? How many times have you told your children, I was wrong, please forgive me? Ownership. Obsess over the process. You will not get to the next level of your life until you first pass these current tests. And if you keep taking the same tests, there's a reason why you haven't passed them. So think about that. Lastly, we're going to get into this, the real cost of avoidance. So again, in the beginning, we talked about that dads would do everything for their kids. I love that. I am the same. I would do everything for my kids. But what I realized is that my actions weren't aligned with my words. And so here's what it costs you. Every year you spend avoiding the work is a year your kids grow up without the version of their dad they deserve. See, your son is watching you handle the hard things right now, and he's taking notes. If you got young kids, they might not feel it as much, but your children, they're taking notes. Whatever you model in this season becomes his default setting for how a man responds to adversity. Your daughter is watching. She's learning right now that what a man looks like under pressure, right? What she sees in you becomes her standard. For all the relationships she's going to have, you are the model. You are the model. The data and the published, they show exactly, they align with all of these things of right now. So I ask dads when I coach them to commit and own it, or you will repeat the year. Those are the only two options. There's no third lane, no comfortable middle where you get to, try your best and hope things change. You commit and you own it, or you will repeat it. And every repeated year costs your kids something that they cannot get back. So you got to think, which year are you going to repeat, or are you done repeating? There's a dad I just talked to recently, and again, he's been working at this for 4 or 5 months, and I just said, man, do you want the next 6 months to be the same as the last 6 months? Those of you that are listening, do you want the last 3 months to continue? Because if you do not disrupt the pattern and you get truly accountable to it, I'm telling you from experience, you will not get there. The new podcast, the new book that you got, those things are helpful for the information, but you don't need more information. You're a smart guy. You're highly intelligent. I'm talking about the ones that say, hey, I need somebody in my corner every week getting me through this. And I want to build through this and become the absolute man that I need to become for myself and for my kids. I want to make this the most incredible experience of my life. Those are the dads that transform their lives. Those are my greatest clients. And those of you that are in business or you're high level executives, those are the guys that I'm looking for. If that sounds like you, then reach out below in our intake form and look at you and me working together for something. Because I think those are the individuals that you will have and you will get there. The ones that are trying, the ones that are, oh, this is so hard, all these excuses. Are those excuses worth you saying that your children are not everything? Because if they are everything, then the excuses are removed. But if your children are not everything, then your excuses become the everything. That is a hard reality that dads do not want to face. They do not want to confront that. I had to confront it. I had to just look at myself and say, Anthony, you're not doing it, man. You need to go get help. As smart as you are, bro, you don't have this. You're not going to figure this out. So you need to go invest in somebody that knows what they're doing. So again, I'll close with this. The difference between a builder and a drifter, when the excuses show up, a drifter says, I'm trying. Says life is hard. He says, I don't have time. He says his best is enough, even when his best keeps producing the same results. And every week that passes, he tells himself the same story, and his kids grow up a little more without the dad they were supposed to have. A builder does something harder. He stops trying. He starts deciding. He builds his day the night before. He finds the person who will call him out, not just cheer him on. He obsesses over the process instead of waiting for the outcome. He uses stress instead of letting stress use him. And when I ask him how much he loves his kids, he doesn't just say everything. He does everything every day. Not when he feels like it, every day. That's the builder. That is who you're capable of being. The only question is whether you're done making excuses long enough to find out. And I think you are. I think we need to build. So if this episode hit you, subscribe on Spotify, Apple. I love you guys. Send this to a friend or a dad. Comment below. Follow us, Divorced Dads of America. Those of you that, again, you're high-level executives, you run a business, you're looking for someone like myself to work one-on-one, build out a plan weekly that we work on for the next couple of months to absolutely transform your mind, your dad life, your finances, your emotional state, even physical stuff. We get through all of that for you to absolutely transform. It is a serious program with me. I every guy that goes through it gets incredible results because I don't take everybody. I'm not here to try. I'm here to do. If that sounds like something there for you, then again, the application is in the show notes. Those are the guys that are still kind of getting warmed up. Get in our school community. Just start somewhere, man. Just start somewhere. Just get in. Watch how great it is when you got a band of brothers and you just start throwing your crap out. Get it out. Expose it, and it'll change and transform your life, man. I love you guys. I'll see you on the next one. God bless y'all.